That's a knife. An interesting couple days here. Not last night, but the night before. I was reading this book, Monkey, and all of a sudden I heard a smack, and a big flying fish had hit off the side of the boat and starts flapping around on deck, and I heard it, and I got up out of bed, and I climbed outside, and I saw it, and it's this big, juicy, nice-looking flying fish, and I thought, ooh, I'd love to eat this. I haven't had a fish since that tuna a long time ago. I don't know, I looked at it, looked at its eyes, and I just decided to let it go and throw it back into the ocean. And then went back to bed and picked up the book that I was reading in bed. The very next paragraph, it describes how a fisherman had brought a fish to this gentleman, and there were two live carp with really shiny looking eyes, bright eyes. And he looked at them and saw that there was something special about these fish, and he decided to return them back to the river. A few days later, a week later, the people he is traveling with attempt to murder him and kill him, and they throw him into the river to drown. He gets rescued by the Dragon King, who is repaying the favor because the Dragon King had represented himself as this fish. And so, then listen to this. Last night, I get up just to check on things. I don't know, see the course, make sure everything's all good out there. And I hear a sping! I'm like, oh no, what was that? Something just broke. Couldn't figure it out, and then finally I figured out that it was inside one of the wind vane blocks, like rolly things, had pulled right off and snapped. And I had to figure out a fix. I looked up and I saw that there was a ship, maybe 3 miles from me, if that. I could see the lights on it. I was like, wow, that's pretty close. It looked like we were almost on a straight up collision course. I hailed him and said, hey, like, do you see me on the ice? And he's like, yeah, I'm just altering my course now. Don't worry, you can stay on your course. And I eventually called him back because I was really curious. He's like, where are you coming from? Where are you going? What are you carrying? And he's like, coming from Australia, carrying coal to Japan. And I realized that if that thing hadn't snapped and I hadn't altered my course out of the way, then that ship would have been bearing down on me a lot sooner and potentially running me right over. So maybe that was the Dragon King saving me. And then today I happened to stand up on the back stern of the boat, and I don't know why I was doing, maybe just getting a stretch or something. I looked down into the water and I saw this big dark thing. Like, what is that? What is that? And then I realized it was a whale. And he showed his fin, and I was sailing at this point, so I kept on sailing. And then eventually he did a swim around, turned around. There's a whale following me. Hello! Makes me think that there's probably so many more creatures and fish and whales around the boat that I never see, just because I'm not looking down into the water right around the boat. And because the water is always so choppy, it's hard to see. Recently today I got a text from my brother-in-law saying that there was an 8.0 earthquake off the coast of Papua New Guinea, and that there's a tsunami warning for my area for the next 3 hours, which is probably coming to an end somewhat soon. I don't think I have to be concerned at all about a tsunami out in the middle of the ocean, because I think it's just like a very slow sort of rise and fall. It could potentially create some interesting waves interacting with the other waves, but my leg has healed. I no longer have Vibrio infection as far as I know, although I am getting a weird pain in my foot. This is pretty much healed. The scab on this cut finally fell off about a month later. That was an epic cut. Pretty gnarly. I thought I was going to lose a limb. I'm not going to. I'm not going to lose a limb. I'm not going to lose a limb. At least that's what I'm hoping. So far I'm safe and I'm sound, and I'm a couple days away from Palau. My weatherman on shore, Dylan, let me know that I'm supposed to expect some pretty strong winds and big swells right around the time that I arrive in Palau. So we'll see. Maybe I'll sneak in before they come. If not, it could be a pretty interesting entrance into Palau. really looking too forward into that entrance because it's a bit of a tight reef pass that stretches for quite a ways. So I'm gonna have to pull out some pretty slick maneuvers with the sail.
I tacked my way in through the reef and sailed up to a concrete dock to clear customs, immigration, and quarantine. I then sailed around into a protected bay and found a mooring ball. My flesh-eating bacteria returned on my head and butt just in time for Julie to arrive and nurse me back to health. She also became temporary captain of Dolce while I paddled into some tight anchorages, where we explored the underwater realm. A natural captain. Julie was planning on sailing with me to the Philippines, but the weather altered her course. See who joins me next on the next episode.